And we're live. I'm really excited today. I'm going to be taking you to the Temple of Heaven. Now, what I expected when I went there was there to be just the prayer hall where I'm going to be taking you. But it's actually a massive complex, even bigger than the Forbidden City. So it's huge. But for the stream today, I'm just going to be taking you to the Hall of Prayer. Amazing, beautiful building, and really excited to do that. Now, a couple of announcements I want to make, and I'll be sharing the links on my Facebook group, which is linked on my YouTube channel here, Travel with the World with Matt. Is the first thing, I'm doing a special chat with one of our other guides. So check that out. I'll be posting that on Facebook group after. And then secondly, I'm going to be doing some tours in Cambodia and Angkor Wat, and also in Thailand. So those are the two big announcements I want to share with you. Welcome to all those who have joined. Let's begin our journey to the Temple of Heaven. So just before we begin, I just want to show you how massive. So here's a picture of just how big the area is. So we're going to be going to the Hall of Prayer of Good Harvest, and that is at the top over there. But the actual area is really, really massive. There's a circular mound altar. There's the Palace of Abstinence, and a bunch of other buildings there too. But for this tour, we're going to be focusing on the Hall of Prayer of Good Harvest, and that's, if you look, it's over here at the top. So that's where we're going to be basing our tour. Let's go. Welcome to those who have just joined. Perfect timing. Let's begin. So the Temple of Heaven is located in the Dongcheng district. It is the largest and the most representative existing masterpiece among China's ancient sacrificial buildings. Originally, the Temple of Heaven was the place where emperors of the Ming dynasty, that was around from 1368 to 1644, and the Qing dynasty, that was around from 1644 to 1911, held their worship ceremonies. Oh, welcome Lethargy, and there we go. We're walking straight in to the Temple of Heaven. This is UNESCO World Heritage Site in China. So it was first built in 1420, and if you're at the Forbidden City tour we did a few weeks ago, you'll remember that the Forbidden City was built at the same time. It was built in the 18th year of the reign of the Emperor Yongle, the same emperor that built the Forbidden City of the Ming dynasty. Now the Temple of Heaven complex has been enlarged and rebuilt during both the Ming and the Qing empires. In fact, the building we're looking at right now, the Hall of Prayer Harvest, was struck by lightning in 1889 and was completely rebuilt. And we're going to be going up, and we're going to go in a little bit. We're going to be going up the stairs, having a look inside the Prayer Harvest building. Now, it was opened, the Temple of Heaven was opened to the public in 1988 as a park showing the ancient history and philosophy and religion here. Its grand architectural style and profound cultural connotation gave an insight into the practices of ancient Eastern civilization. Here we are walking up to the Hall of Prayer Harvest. such a beautiful building. Lots to tell you about it. Now, I always expected that this building was all there was to see, but the actual space is massive. It's about 2.7 million square meters, and it's larger than Forbidden City. And one thing I want you to pay attention to is the symbolism in the temple. So we're gonna have a nice look inside the temple right now. Oh, welcome, Lynn. Welcome, Cindy. Yeah, there's no escalator and lots of stairs. You'll notice that on the outside, towards the bottom of the temple, it's all you've got the color red. That symbolizes the earth. And then if we look at the exterior, and also if we look up inside the interior of the Hall of Prayer Harvest, we've got blue. That's symbolizing heaven. So a lot of, and the decoration is just beautiful, like the gold and everything is just really, really beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about the interior. So the interior of the pre-harvest building has 4 inner and 12 middle and then 12 outer pillars inside, representing first the 4 seasons, then the 12 months, and then the 12 traditional Chinese hours. And so everything that's built has meaning. And what's really interesting about the whole pre-harvest, there are no nails, no cement, no glue. It's completely made out of wood and just designed in such a way that there was no need for any nails or anything, just masterfully designed. So there you can see at the bottom, you've got those like red, earthy tones, and then as we go higher and higher, you've got those blue. So the brown, red representing the earth, and the blue representing heaven. And I love these people that dressed up. They look amazing. They look like the emperors that would come here on an annual basis to do the rituals that they did. Welcome, Wayne. It's very impressive, and we'll get a little look, a little bit soon later at like the beautiful decoration on the building, just beautifully and really ornately designed. So let's talk about this building, the Hall of Prayer. The Hall of Prayer of Good Harvest is a triple gabled circular building. You can see there's those 3 circular gables as it goes higher and higher. And it's about 118 feet in diameter and 125 feet tall. And it stands on a 3-leveled marbled base. So that's the base we've just walked up. I'll tell you a little bit about that base again when we go down. One of the interesting features of this building is that it was built entirely out of wood and used no nails. And the original building was struck by lightning in 1889. And the current one was rebuilt several years later using the same design. One of the things I really loved about the building was the roof, just the various aspects of Chinese culture that were represented in the artwork and the carvings and the drawings. And we'll go back and have a look at those, have a close-up look at those again. Now this is taken in December of 2023. It is winter. Beijing is very, very cold. So you can see there's snow on the ground. Lots and lots of snow. They've cleared it up and so you're not going to slip and slide. Now we're going to enter the building, another important main building, which is called the Imperial Hall of Heaven. And there's an interesting sign over there, and there's an interesting door. I want you to pay attention to that door. That's called the 70-year-old door, and it's got a little story. You can take a little picture of it, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that door later. So that's that little door on the left hand side, and you can take a little picture for the story out, but I'll tell you the story about it as well. So the Imperial Hall of Heaven that we're in right now is located north of the Hall of Prayer. The Hall of Prayer is the building that is in the center of everything that we had a look inside. And so that gate on the west is called the Goosey Gate, which means 70 years old. And the roof of the hall is covered with a blue colored glaze. And there's a board that's written in Chinese. You'll find all the Chinese buildings have they'll have like a board with the name of the building. So this one translates to the Imperial Hall of Heaven. And inside the hall, there are house-shaped shrines, or we've just turned away from them. But I think we'll go have a look at those house-shaped shrines inside. Let's get another peek. There they are. You can see on each side. Welcome, Diane. Diane, I want to tell you a quick story. Diane, we were talking about last week about the Forbidden City, and how a lot of the items in the Forbidden City ended up in Taiwan. And there was this one beautiful piece of art which looks like a cabbage, but it's made from jade. And I actually found a photo of that particular one. It's on the Facebook group. So inside this hall, there are house-shaped shrines holding tablets, and on the 5th and the 1st day of each lunar month, officials would sweep the dust and burn the incense there. And this is where the emperor would give a ritual before going and entering the big circular building, the prayer hall, which is ahead of us. What I loved that day was just how the birds were just flying around, just made it really super magical. Yeah, so this is where the tablets of the emperor's ancestors were held, and the emperor would usually come here the day before the prayer ceremony in the prayer building to burn incense, perform rituals, before those tablets that were in this building were moved to the Hall of Prayer building. I just love this handle. So, it's just, everything's big and oversized and grand. And the sky was so pretty. So Neil's asking, is there a meaning of the round shape? Yes, there is a meaning. So the round shape is supposed to symbolize heaven, and then the square shape is supposed to symbolize the earth. So just like they've used blue to symbolize heaven, and like the reds and the earthy tones to symbolize earth, they've done the same with the shapes. So even the shapes have meaning. Now, when I was here, I couldn't understand why there were lots of people gathering around in this corner, and I found out later what was going on. There were a bunch of photographers lining up. So we had to, the complex is open from 8:30 to 5:30, and at 5:30, once we had to exit, then what happened was they light up, and what I'll do, light up the pre-harvest building, and it looks even more spectacular than it does now. And I've actually taken a photo of that, which I'll share with you. I think I've got a photo and a video of it. I'll share that with you when this video finishes. So I was very curious, like, what are all these people standing here waiting to do? Yeah, they're waiting for the temple to close, because they're going to start asking people to leave the prayer hall. And then when that happens, once everyone's left, they light it up, and then you have to leave. So I recommend coming here in the evening. Like I was here, I think at 4:30 to 5:30, and then at 5:30 they lit it up and it looked even more spectacular. What I love about the decors, there's so much detail, there's so much work. Well, let's talk about just going up these stairs and walking up. Now, to reach the prayer hall, you walk up this imperial walkway, and there's several of them surrounding the hall of prayer. And these long sloping stone steps rise about 3 meters into the air, and it's supposed to symbolize the emperor's ascent to heaven. So he's on the earth, on the ground, and then as he ascends all these steps, it's like he's ascending to heaven. Altogether, there are 3 marble paths. And each of them, so now we're taking up one of them. The one was for the emperor, and others were for the princes, and then another one for the high-ranking officials. So here's some of the details on the building. Isn't it just spectacular? You've got gold, and there's blue colors representing heaven. It's just beautiful, beautiful detailing. Cindy says, fascinated by how it stands without nails. It is amazing. It took so much engineering. Like, you can see a little bit of there how they've engineered in such a way. Also, you can see at the top there, like, everything interlocked. There's a park that we've gone to in Hong Kong, where they use similar design in the building. It's amazingly done. Oh, I want to tell you a funny story. So the wood, so in 1889, after the prayer hall was struck by lightning, they didn't have any of the trees that they needed. These big trees that you need to create this beautiful wooden prayer hall. So where did they get the trees from? The logs? They got them from the USA. So the temple, the prayer hall here was built from logs from the USA, which I thought was quite interesting. Neil's asking, Neil, this is a perfect time, but I think my parents are watching, but they don't always comment. This is a good time for them. Now, even though it may look like there are a lot of steps that lead onto the top platform, there are really not that many because of the 3-leveled marble terrace. And yeah, what even along the, yeah, see, there you are, Neil. My folks are watching. It's also a great time for them this particular time. Like just the surround, like the stairway is like beautifully, has these beautiful reliefs on it. And if you've come with me in Hong Kong, if you come to Big Buddha, you'll recognize that this stairway was, this is a cake that is made to look like the prayer hall. Beautiful cake. I just took it from, asked some people that were taking a selfie with it if I could take a picture with it. That was a cool moment. So this is actually, so if you've been in Hong Kong and you've been with me when we went to Big Buddha, they've got this platform, not the building, the prayer hall building, but the platform. They've got the same platform at Big Buddha that's in Lantau in Hong Kong. So there's a connection here between Hong Kong and the Temple of Heaven. Now the stairways are really beautifully designed. They've got those reliefs with dragons, phoenixes, and everything's just, wherever you look, there's like a decoration. It's really detailed. Look at that, man. I love how you can see the pillars through the design. So you've got the inner pillars and the outer pillars there. So on the right hand side, now I'll turn around. You just can't take a bad photo here, except there'll always be lots of people in your photos because this is China and people want to go out and celebrate their heritage. Wayne's asking how long it would have taken to construct. I know when it burned down, so it burned down, it got struck by lightning in 1899, and then it did take a couple of years for it to get rebuilt, but that was also because of the logistics of like getting the wood, the sort of trees that you needed. They needed to get them from the States, and then they also needed to do all the decoration. So it did take a couple of years when they rebuilt it. Now inside these buildings you can see like a miniature version of the prayer hall. Now I always thought when I thought about this coming to this UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Temple of Heaven, that this was the only thing there was, but actually massive complex, but this is really the highlight. Yeah, so just like the Forbidden City, just a really important place, off limits to everybody. Only the emperor and the officials were allowed up to the platform that we went up to the top, and then only the emperor was allowed inside the building to do the rituals. Yeah, so Lynn is saying that she remembers going to the Echo Wall. So right, like opposite this the prayer hall, if you just walk to the other side in another square, they've got a similar platform, and what you do is you go into the middle of that platform and you shout, and it's supposed to be designed in such a way that it echoes really well, where you can talk in one corner or whisper in one corner and somebody can hear you in the other corner because of the way it's designed. So Cindy's asking, do they still do the rituals? No, because the last emperor, so we learned about him at the Forbidden City, the last emperor was the whole system came to an end in 1911. So it's no longer used, and that's why I think in the 1920s it became open, or certainly in I think it was the 1980s it opened up for everyone to come and look. Neil asked, do they sell tickets to the complex? Yes, so you buy a ticket for the whole complex and you can enter all the buildings, but this is the main one. Oh, Neil says that New York subway has a whispering wall too. Just some interesting things when you're going to China. Everywhere you go and everything you have to enter, you have to show your passport. So tip for traveling China, when you're traveling, always have your passport on you. They're gonna check for everything, and everything that you book, you're going to use your passport for. You have to write down your passport number, so keep that handy when you're in China. Also, for paying for anything, there's two really great apps. The one is a WeChat, which is like a messaging app, but it's also what everybody uses to pay for literally everything. And then what worked a little bit better for me was an app called Alipay, which was made everything really easy. Lynn's saying that tickets for these places are pretty and great for scrapbooking. Yeah, unfortunately, I'll tell you what's happened. Because of COVID, everything is digital now. So, like I used a QR code to get inside the temple, and they're very rare that you get tickets. So I did get a ticket when I went to the viewing platform, the viewing garden to look at the Forbidden City. But I think that was like the only ticket that I've got in the whole time when I was in mainland. So Neil's asking, is there an octopus card there? Yes, I've actually got one now. I've got the Beijing like travel metro card, and I've got one for Shanghai, and also got one for Guangzhou. So you can use your travel cards throughout the whole of China, but what happens is, what I discovered is, so I had my Guangzhou card, and then I used it and as much as I could in Shanghai, then I ran out of credit and I couldn't refill it. I had to now buy a Shanghai metro card and fill it up. So if you've got lots of credit on your metro card, you can use it in the whole of China, but if it runs out, you have to buy the card of that city. So interesting. Okay, and there we go. Now I want to show you quickly. Now we saw at in the video there were all those people that were gathered. I was wondering why are they gathering? This is the reason. They as it's about to close at about 5:30, everybody's waiting, and suddenly the lights go on, and the temple itself is just beautifully lit up and decorated. I want to play this. This is a very short clip I took. So that is what it looks like. So grab a little snapshot of that beautifully lit. So that would be a tip. Stay until 5:30 when it closes. Everybody has to leave so you can get a nice clean shot with no people in the shot, and then also the the prayer hall is just beautifully lit up. So that's that. I want to show you one more picture. This is of the interior. It's just, I felt like my video really didn't do the interior of the prayer hall justice. So that's what it looks like inside. Slightly better look. You can see more of that detailing inside. Yeah, so that is the Temple of Heaven. This is just a short one today because we only went to the prayer hall. I didn't take you around the whole area, but the prayer hall is like the main thing that people come for. Neil saying, I guess the Metro cards have collectible designs. Yeah, so I've got 3 Metro cards now. So let me tell you some exciting announcements. First, Lynn and I are doing, in 2 weeks time, we're doing a special tour. I'll be posting that on my Facebook group and on Traveling Virtually, so check that out. And then we're going to be I'm gonna try to do some actual lives. I'm gonna be going to Thailand and Cambodia, and of course, if we're gonna go to Cambodia, we're gonna go to Angkor. So I would love to do like a sunrise and a sunset tour live in Angkor Wat. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'll be filming some other stuff in Thailand, and we'll be seeing those in February. Then next week I'm going back to Guangzhou, China, so I'm hopefully gonna film some stuff there, which I'll be able to show in the coming months. Cindy asks, Matt, wondering how many countries you've been to. I'm also wondering. I have a little app. I haven't checked it for a while, but every time I've got places, it has the globe, and then you click where you want to go and where you been and where you still want to go, and it's really helpful to look at that and see where you've been and where you want to go. But I haven't looked at that for a while, so I find that quite a good app to use. So looking forward to going into Angkor Wat and bringing you guys along there too. So that's the big news. And also Lynn and I, in 2 weeks time, doing a cool tour together. I'll be putting all of that on the Facebook group. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining this tour, and thank you for subscribing. I'm just inspired to see how many people have subscribed. Like, it's a big milestone to get to 1,000 subscribers, so thank you all for subscribing and joining the tour. Next week, I think we're going to, it's the Ming Tombs. The Ming Tombs, the way I think about it is like, although it's not as old, it's like in Egypt where all the tombs were, like, so similar vibes. So in Egypt they had the Valley of the Kings. That's where all the kings were buried. This is area where all the emperors were buried, but it's not as old as Egypt. It's from the 1500s onwards. And we're going to be walking along an area called the Sacred Way, which is a beautiful walkway that leads to some of the tombs. So that's what we're going to be doing. And and then the week after that, I think we're going to Shanghai, and we'll be walking along the Bund. The Bund is that area where you look over and you see like the new Shanghai with the TV tower, and then on the other side is like the old Shanghai with buildings from the international buildings from all the big shipping companies that were built in the 1920s, and we can go inside and there's some amazing stuff to see. So if you're not part of it, please join the Facebook group. Link is on YouTube. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. If you want to support the channel, support what I'm doing, you can buy me a coffee. A link is all on the channel. And please join the Facebook group. I always add extra things in there. So see you next time, and thank you for joining. Bye from Travel the World with Matt.